Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Big Blue. It's channel where we find the truth, seek understanding, and be the light. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. So this one is actually going to be interesting while I sit and I try to figure out this whole identity thing that we have going on. There is this lady, Welby Alfred, who, based off of what I'm seeing, is a Haitian sister of mine, not yours. Unless you know who Haitian, then she's a Haitian sister of yours too. But her. Let's just go right into it. The video is called "I Didn't Understand Racism Until America Taught Me." Now, this is going to be interesting because I know that her experience is going to be very different from my experiences, and that's going to be the same case for everybody. My whole thing is, what are you doing with your experiences? So let's just see where she comes from, see her stance and all that stuff, and then we'll comment afterwards. Let's check it out.
Today I'm telling a story I didn't always have the words for. I'm Haitian and I've been living in America for 29 years.
So she's been living in America. I'm not sure how old she is, but she's essentially been living in America as long as I've been alive. And if memory serves me right, I'm pretty sure that she's lived during this time period where being Haitian was not a good thing. Depending on where you lived. I know where I was growing up, being a Haitian in the 90s, early 2000s was not cool. Again, it's a whole thing, but let's keep going.
What I didn't expect wasn't just culture shock. It was the way that you can walk in a room and people already decided who you are before you even open your mouth.
Okay.
And I want to talk about the moment that I realized, oh, this isn't just about
Well, that's called prejudice, but let's keep going.
me fitting in. This is about identity. If you're Haitian in America, you're going to feel this in your chest. And if you're not, stay with me, because this is the kind of story that will help you understand people that you see every day, but you may not fully know.
Right.
So I am going to start light. Let me define first what I mean when I say being Haitian in America, because I'm not just talking about our traditional fried pork, griot. I'm not talking about our traditional dance compas, and I'm not talking about accent. I'm talking about how the word Black gets applied to you in a way that can totally erase your history, and how ignorance, when you're first living here, can protect you at first, but then it becomes a trap. Also, how you can feel like you're always in between groups and you're not fully claimed by anybody until you decide to choose yourself. Just be your Haitian self. This video is not a history lesson. It's more of a belonging lesson. I'm going to break it down in a few real moments. The kind that would make you pause later and go, wait, that's what that was? All right. The first thing I want to talk about is friendship. Friendship was actually one of my first culture shock.
I'll say this first. Friendships, very little. Papa's went a pilizami is what my parents would say. You don't need a lot of friends. You only need those very few, and those friends better be the people from the church, because we don't want no friends qui fait, tout voler. Yo, you weren't doing your friends with nobody that was out for the streets. Those were not your friends, bro. And it was true, but let's keep going. Let's see what she got to say.
It wasn't racism. It was friendship, because in Haiti, when you call someone your friend, that word carries a lot of weight. It means loyalty. It means history. It means that
it's watered down
if
here.
something happens to me,
means practically nothing.
I'm calling you. But in America, I noticed that people will meet you twice and be like, oh, my friend at work.
Mm-hmm.
I remember sitting there the first time this happened to me at work. And then when the person said, my friend at work, and then I said, wait, friend? Like
me?
friend?
Ouais, ma'am.
And this is small, but it matters, because if you come from a culture where connection is deep and then you land somewhere where connection is fast, can be casual, and sometimes like a surface connection. It can make you feel lonely even when you're surrounded by people. If you're an immigrant, sometimes you feel isolated. It's not because you're unlikable. It's because the rules of closeness where we are now, it changed, and no one gave us the handbook. In Haiti, we don't play with the word zami. Zami means friend, and that's not casual for us.
Right.
Now, let me talk about the ignorance shield that I mentioned before. When I first came to America, I didn't understand American racial history the way that people who grew up here do. Because of that, certain things, they just didn't register to me at all. It's not because they were not happening, but it was because I did not have the language. I could be in certain spaces, especially spaces that were mostly white, and I would just focus on my goals because I was trying to survive, I was trying to succeed, I was trying to build and learn and work. But I didn't realize that sometimes the reason that I could push through with what I was doing, it was because I hadn't learned what certain comments actually meant. Picture you're in a room, everyone's smiling, everyone looks normal, and then someone says something small and you just brush it off, really. But later, when you are replaying that in your head and you realize that you brushed it off because you did not know what to call what just happened. I realized that sometimes you don't recognize disrespect at first. It's not because you're weak, but it's because you're new to the scene. You're new to to these set of rules that you know nothing about. Let me talk about one of the most confusing parts for me. There were things that people say to immigrants, especially Black immigrants, that sounds like compliments at first, but they don't feel good at all. Things that were said to me, amongst other things, you're so
Your country?
articulate,
Oh,
or wow, you don't have an accent like I expected. Oh, you're
okay.
different.
Okay.
Or the one that I hated the most, oh, you're one of the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that one was said to me when I was taking my driver's license test, mind you, by a state police. He said, oh, do they even have roads where you came from? Did you get here on a boat? And they saying it with a friendly tone, and sometimes they saying it while they're smiling. But something inside of you is like, why are you even surprised that I can speak? I remember hearing something like that and feeling two feelings at once. One part of me wanted to take some of those things as a compliment because I'm just trying to be polite. But
Mm.
another part of me was feeling, wait, what box did you exactly put me in before I spoke? So when people are surprised by your intelligence, it reveals the low expectation that they started with for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Haitian watching this, you already know what I mean. Because Haitians, we come with pride. We come with our independence pride as the first independent republic. When someone acts shocked by our capability, it feels insulting in a quiet way.
Mm. Okay. I see what she's talking about. I see what you're talking about. The And of course, all my Haitians that's out there, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I can't even talk. How am I gonna say something? I'm a Haitian American. I was born here in America. Based on my understanding with her, she was born in Haiti. I was born in America. How could I talk? How could I say anything? Well, that's because I'm looking at the situation for what it is and not just based off of my experiences. It's almost the same as somebody that went through all the accolades to become a doctor and they feel, their accomplishments of everything that they've done, all the research that they've done, this, that, and the third, just for somebody to, come up to them in any type of situation that they're in, and they don't refer to them as a doctor. And it's like, yo, you know who I am? That she said the main problem is the pride. Haitians have a lot of pride with everything that they do to come to a country where majority of the people, if it wasn't because of everything that's been happening in the news, because of Trump and stuff like that, wouldn't even know what Haiti is. There's probably still a lot of people that still don't know what Haiti is. So it's like, yeah, you're right. There's the history that everybody learns, that the Haitians learned of how they became who they became, and then there's that history that, of course, that is taught in the schools, but it's only taught in the schools for like 10 minutes out of the social studies book, and then they continue on into the next thing, into the next region in world geography or whatever the case may be. So it's not even a matter of them choosing to downplay the Haitians or to not acknowledge everything that the Haitians done and how, resilient of a country Haiti is. It's just a matter of they just don't know. They don't know. And it has nothing to do with and that's the Haitians. Honestly, it's the Haitians' fault for having so much pride to now your pride is hurt because this white person doesn't know everything that Haiti has been to, how beautiful the country is when it's not ridden by gang violence and then, corrupt corrupt politics. But they don't know everything positive that comes out of Haiti because in America, everything that's come out of Haiti tends to be very negative. So, of course, how else would they know? You think they're really going to do their research? America doesn't do their research about anybody. Every other country knows more about America than Americans do. So it's like it is what it is. But we can't let that, affect how we go through our day-to-days. Let's keep going.
Now, here's the turning point. When I got to college and I started learning American history, it broke something open in me because suddenly a lot of what I observed had context.
Right.
And it wasn't for me anymore that people are weird. It was, oh, this is layered. Oh, this is inherited. Oh, this is systemic. I learned things that made me angry. I learned things that made me sad. I learned things that made me think, how did I live here and not understand the full weight of what Black people have endured in this country?
Because you weren't taught that. You're living in a time period where we don't experience it. And this is the thing that I keep I keep harking on every time when we're talking about the Black Americans and stuff like that. Yes, I understand that this is the history of the Black Americans, and yes, I understand that some of that is still ingrained in the white people as far as like the way that they look at Black people, that's just because of the isolation and the things that they're fed through the media and their preconceived notions of the Black people. So that may be how they treat the Black people and all that stuff. But we're not experiencing what the Black Americans at that time period experienced. Martin Luther King didn't experience being a slave. Those in the Civil Rights Act period did not experience being a slave. The slaves don't know what it means to be free. We don't know what it means to have the same prejudice as those that lived during the Civil Rights period. We don't, guys. Everything that you feel like is holding you back is all in your head. It's in your head. How many countless artists have made it out of the slums, out of the hood? How many countless people have studied and kept in their schoolwork and managed to be able to make something of themselves so that they can get out of the hood and then never turn back? It is within us to get past these things. We just have to navigate through it. And the first thing is to just acknowledge that we are no longer living in those times. So now you have the opportunity to move forward. Let's keep moving. Let's keep going.
Once I learned the history, I couldn't unsee it anymore.
Okay.
Before
that's fair.
History, I was thinking that must be their personality. But after learning the history, I realized it's a pattern. Education, it doesn't just make you smarter. It gives you clarity. And the clarity changes your self-respect. Now, this is the part that nobody explains to you being Haitian in America. And it can make you feel like you're always being translated because to some people, you're just Black.
Right.
And they don't care about your culture. You can also feel like African Americans see you as a foreigner who comes here to take the few jobs that Black people are allowed to have. Africans, sometimes they don't see you as one of them at all. You're carrying your identity, but
African
you're
who?
also carrying how other people label you. And it's that in between feeling that makes you stay quiet. And sometimes it makes you shrink yourself. And it can make you decide that I'm just going to stand fully in who I am, because at some point, that in between is exhausting and you just want to survive. Belonging doesn't mean that you're always accepted. And belonging at this point is just accepting yourself. That's what I realized, at least for me, when I was like, and I've mentioned that to several of my friends and say, I don't even know where I belong when I'm here. If you're Haitian in America and you've ever felt this, the culture shock, the confusion, the weight, what did you mean by that? I want you to know that you are not imagining it.
A couple of things that I wanted to mention here. Hmm. I mean, on top of everything that I've already mentioned, and again, this is a realm where clearly she was saying that this is for Haitians that came to America. So I don't apply. I don't apply. But what I can do is I can look at this from an outside lens, from the target audience that she's clearly talking about those Haitians that migrated over here. But the truth of how you interact with people still remains the same. How you choose to interact with people still remains the same, and how you respond with them. Because quite frankly, you can be Haitian and go to any other country and you will still be treated differently. You got blacks that live out in China, and when you talk to them, they say, yeah, they treat me differently. There's some racism, there's some prejudices, and all this stuff. You can say the same thing for the blacks that go out in Europe. You can say the same thing for blacks. Hell, even the country that you're right next to, Dominican Republic, they treat you differently, and y'all practically the same, and we're practically the same island. So it's not, it's less so much about you being Haitian, and it's more so much about the American people are weird, they are ignorant, and they just have a lack of knowledge of all the other cultures. Like I said, I'm pretty sure every other country knows more about America than Americans do. And that's because, just think about it. Other countries are learning English as a sacred language. How many Americans do you know, born and raised Americans, if they're not in a what do you call, if their major is not in a second language, that they speak fluently in a second language? Asians speak in English, Indians speaking English, Africans speaking English. Of course, some of them were, British countries, but also speaking English. South Americans speaking English. It's a common thing. Everybody, America makes English that that a necessity, that other countries are learning English so that they can be in communications with America. Americans don't have to do that. They don't, unless they want to. With other countries, it's a need, but for Americans, it's a want. So it's like Americans are stupid. They're just stupid and they're ignorant and they just naive. Naive is probably the better term. A lot of them are naive. A lot of them are ignorant. The whole thing about them. Okay. So let me go back to the story that I was going to say originally. I grew up, of course, Haitian household. I was born here, older sister born in Haiti, parents born in Haiti. They came over here a little sometime before I was born. My dad has a degree, speaks very well English, all that stuff. My mom doesn't have a degree, doesn't have a high school degree, but they made things work for the family and whatnot. I lived in a small town that was, I don't want to say it was majority white. It was fairly mixed, but I lived on the, I guess, higher end of the city. I didn't live in downtown. I lived in an area where, people had, where they were houses. People had houses as opposed to living in apartments. I didn't even really know there was apartments in our city unless I went to the downtown area. And I don't know. We just we the school that I went to, I don't even think it was majority white. The elementary school I went to was pretty mixed. It wasn't until I got to middle school that's when the majority was black and Hispanic. But even then, it wasn't as much as, let's say, Roselle or Linden or Elizabeth or Newark. And these were the areas where, during that time period of me growing up, was not cool to be Haitian at all. My cousins have told me all the time Haitians had to band together because other people, black people, Hispanic people, they did not like Haitians. They were bullied all the time for being Haitian. I didn't have to experience that. Where I grew up, they didn't even know what Haiti was. So I'm out here like, yeah, I'm Haitian, sac passe. Yo, you don't know what Haiti is? Every time when it came to doing a test and they would tell, we had to put that in for black, I put other. And then my teacher would be like, oh, why you put other? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm Haitian. I'm not black. I'm Haitian. And I was proud of that. And as I grew older, I understood what Haiti was, third world country, definitely, impoverished and stuff like that. But that didn't negate the fact that I was still proud to be a Haitian. Even today, a lot of reasons I am the way that I am is because of my Haitian roots. My parenting, a lot of that is still holds dear to the ideas of the Haitians. Now, there's been some changes, but the Haitians lived a lifestyle, at least with my parents and a lot of my relatives. We live that lifestyle that allows us to not be too caught up in the world for the most part, but it tends to have good values. And those values are not worrying about the fact that you're black, not, or, dark skin, not worrying of the fact that there may be some people that may be prejudiced against you. You just survive, do whatever it is that you got to do, and try to excel. That's it. We shouldn't be worrying about things on the outside. We shouldn't be worrying about that and that, all these distractions. You'll just stay in school, go to church, and then come home and then rinse and repeat. And then once you do go to school, you graduate from college and then, you get the great job and stuff like that, which is a whole different topic in and of itself. But then you can do everything that you want to do. But right now you need to focus. Don't be distracted of all this other stuff that's going on. I'm surprised that she kind of did. She probably did have that mindset, but the idea of the prejudices and the racism and the history with the blacks and the white people in America probably came and affected her mind to where that now became something that was a constant thought when she came around white people, which was a thing that happened to me as I was growing up, going to a high school where it was majority white people, but it didn't affect me too much because I just still did what I needed to do. And then the other thing about the whole identity and feeling trapped, it really comes down to fitting in where you need to fit in. I really don't fit in with the Haitian community because even to this day, my Creole is still trash. So it's kind of hard for me to connect. I don't fit in with the Black American community because there's a lot of things that they take precedence over and hold dear to them and priority and hold the type of values that I really don't value. I also can't be white because I'm not white. Now, the other thing, my issue with, trying to identify more with, I don't even know what you would call that, but it's, I guess, assimilate more with the white Americans is that I don't have the same experiences that they do. I haven't been able to go out and experience that from childbirth or, from being young. My parents taking me here, my parents taking me there, grandparents teaching me this and that and stuff like that. I don't have that. So I really, when I'm in those environments, I kind of just sit back and I learn, and that's it. but I don't assimilate with that. The only thing that I can identify with fully is my faith in following Jesus and being a child of God. That is for sure an identity that I take as priority. Everything else is like, I'm proud to be a Haitian. I'm proud to be a Haitian. Haiti needs a lot of work. Still proud to be a Haitian. And as far as being black, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, y'all. That's a whole nother conversation. But the idea here that I have, that I hope that a lot of people have themselves, is do not let the history of America distract you from being the best that you can be. 'Cause it'll cause big distraction, and it will derail you for the most part from living, from loving, from even doing God's work. There are people that are claiming of the faith, but that are heavily distracted by the history of America and their identity of being black, that it hinders them from doing God's work. I see it because they're filled with rage, they're filled with hate. They haven't let God just take it over, and now it's become so much of a hindrance to them that they walk in a certain way, and their mindset is kind of miscued. But again, another conversation. I talk about that stuff way too much, and I'm probably going to keep talking about it because we're still trying to figure it out, guys. I'm still trying to figure it out. But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.